When did you realize that some people truly deserve a special place in hell? 48 hours after our teenage son drove headfirst into a tree and fell into a coma, a hospital administrator showed up pressing us to pull the plug and donate his organs. Dr. Weinstein was assigned as our personal advocate, and she quickly started making comments about our limited resources for long-term care and asking pointed questions about our insurance coverage. As an ICU nurse myself, I knew the recovery process for brain injuries, but Dr. Weinstein dismissed every hopeful thing I mentioned. She said we needed to be realistic about expectations and think about quality of life issues. But Josh was showing small signs of improvement. Doctor said his eyes tracked movement, and he'd even have the smallest of hand movements sometimes. But Dr. Weinstein called these involuntary reflexes and said we were in the denial stage of grief. We tried to fight back. We escalated to the hospital administration multiple times. I filed formal complaints with the patient advocacy department, but nothing worked. They kept telling us that Dr. Weinstein was a highly respected professional with 15 years of experience, and that we should trust her medical expertise. When my husband demanded to speak to department heads, they all backed Dr. Weinstein, saying she was following standard protocols for families in denial. Things escalated when she brought an entire organ procurement team to educate us while we were literally at Josh's bedside. She had brought with her a massive hospital bill estimate that felt like a warning saying we were driving ourselves into bankruptcy. If you just pulled the plug, you might get to keep your home. That was our breaking point. My husband lost it and started screaming at her to get out. Security had to be called when he threatened to physically remove her from the world. Dr. Weinstein used this as ammunition against us, claiming we were emotionally unstable and interfering with medical care. We tried going to the hospital's ethics committee after that. Surely this was some breach of protocol. But nope, they reviewed Dr. Weinstein's documentation and sided with her completely. The chair told us that grieving families often became irrational when facing difficult decisions and recommended we accept her guidance. The next day she arrived with hospital lawyers and gave us an ultimatum. We had 72 hours to consent to organ donation, or Josh would be transferred to a county facility that she claimed couldn't provide adequate care. She said our insurance wouldn't cover the transfer costs, and we'd be responsible for all future medical bills. The next day, as we were down in the dumps, a miracle happened. Josh squeezed my hand. Not a reflex, but a clear, deliberate response when I called his name. My husband saw it too, and we both started crying with relief. But when we called Dr. Weinstein, her reaction was horrifying. Even if he's awake, he'll never have any quality of life. He'll be in a vegetative state suffering every day. But we didn't care. We reported this to hospital administration, thinking Josh's consciousness would change everything. But the medical director dismissed our observations and said family members often imagine responses during grief. But that night, something even better happened. Josh opened his eyes when I was reading to him. He couldn't speak because of the breathing tube, but his eyes were on me. I started bawling and hugging him. He didn't hug me back, but I felt that he was here. But of course, the next morning, despite Josh's eyes being open, Dr. Weinstein doubled down. "Look at him," she said, standing over Josh's bed. "The kindest thing you can do is end this torture and let his death have meaning through organ donation." We went back to administration again, but were again met with dismissal. Dr. Weinstein's experience makes her the definitive authority on Josh's condition. That was when we couldn't take it anymore. We found a way to get directly to the hospital CEO, and thankfully, he looked genuinely shocked. He promised an immediate investigation and suspended Dr. Weinstein from patient contact. The investigation took months, and what we found out in court made it even worse. It turns out, even we didn't know the full extent of what Dr. Weinstein was putting our family through. We learned that in the days between Josh waking up and her getting removed from patient care, Dr. Weinstein was bringing in specialists to see Josh at night if we weren't there. These specialists would then talk to Josh all about how he would never be able to walk, talk, or live independently again. They tried convincing him that he was bound to be in a vegetative state for life, and that he should voluntarily die so his life could have purpose through organ donation. My husband and I felt sick. And the reason Dr. Weinstein was doing it? Money. Of course, money. Apparently getting organ donors gave her bonuses. She got sentenced to 11 years, and the state compensated us $500,000. Our son still isn't fully healthy, but he can talk, walk, has a girlfriend with whom he travels and hikes, while Dr. Weinstein is rotting in a cell.